I know enough to be dangerous.
I'm about a third sold for 2025 already.
Okay.
I felt like for some reason, this is only a feeling. I feel like we're going to see a bump in corn a little bit at some point here this winter. I don't know. I think we might see 475. I don't know. I could be completely wrong easily. Mm-hmm. And if we do, I'm going to sell some more. I kind of got an amount in mind. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about some budgeting on the past podcasts, but my goal is to make this much per acre. Then here's my break even, my input costs, and so on and so forth. So, with my APH, is, let's say on the 107.
Yep.
I think my APH is 120 something.
Yep.
And so it might be 130. Let's say it's 130. At $4. Let's say 100. Let's say 100. Let's say it's 100. Easy math at $4 corn, $400. That's my guarantee. Okay, how am I going to strategically plan this year accordingly? What's my target profit? This is my target profit. If at today's markets I hit that target profit, okay, that's a successful business plan.
Yeah.
Anything else on top of that is just risk, right?
Well, exactly.
So,
yep.
It's knowing your numbers really well, being honest with yourself about your operation. I don't know. I mean, marketing's a whole world that's, I don't know. There's a lot to it.
Well, if you got to the part where you understand that you got to take the emotion out of it, or in a sense, when you make those decisions, you almost have to be a robot.
Yeah.
But I think it's easier to take emotion out of it by knowing your numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
some
if you
safety.
Yeah.
Like, at 450, I'm doing pretty good here on this farm at my APH, and so on and so forth. It at least helps you instead of, man, I hope I'm making enough to farm next year.
Yeah.
Type deal. It's like, no, you know where you're at.
Yes.
And there's, man, with the costs of, costs increasing and inputs not coming down as fast as prices.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had conversations with a lot of guys where banks are really like, where are your numbers at?
Yep.
More so than in the years past.
Yep.
Like you go to a bank and say, "Hi, I need an extra 100,000 in my operating line for next year." And there's a lot more eyebrows being raised now than in the past.
Yeah.
Why? What are you spending money on? Where are you shaving money at? What's your plan? What's your cost to break even? Yeah. So if you go to your bank asking for it, man, I hope it's not just because you hope you need it or think you need it.
And the part that I feel so much for, well, heck, even as a business owner myself, I just really feel because, gosh, we haven't changed, let's just say we haven't changed anything, but it's 20% more. Or 30%, like you're saying here, why numbers are so darn tight here, but I haven't done much, So I feel for that. I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent, but I do think that's something to be cognizant of. Like we got to adjust for stuff that's going on the more macro economy side too.
Yeah. So it seems like global events are making much more market impact than in years past.
Yeah.
And it seems like COVID is what triggered that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the awareness of that.
Yeah. Well, and I just get to the part too. There's some things that are out of our control, but we still have to be flexible around them, So in these situations, in these times, like a term that my buddy Jeff would always say, I got to trim fat. And we start going through stuff. I'm like, gosh, we're already running on pretty lean. Like, we kind of need this, we kind of need that. So how do we be more cost effective with every dollar, which we talked about earlier, being so intentional with that dollar that we know when we spend that dollar, we're hopefully, at least getting a 1-to-1 return, more preferably a 3-to-1.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But if you at least are getting a 1-to-1 return, we're going in the right direction. And if you already, here's the thing too, in your break evens, if you can make sure you're putting your time into it, then you're making money. If you forget about time until the end of the year, then gosh, it's even harder for those numbers. And I think that's where the emotion comes in a lot.
Sure.
If you don't equate for, the quote unquote profit side of it, we get to the end here and we're just crossing our fingers if we made a profit.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, that scares the crap out of me.
Right.
So it's just, it goes back to I'm so big on intention at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way. And honestly, I think a lot of people in agriculture, period, they have those intentions. Now it's about taking these intentions and creating action. So 2025,
following out the plan.
I'm going to have a break even. Is it going to be perfect? No, but at least you have a number.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, develop your own marketing plan to a point. And it doesn't have to be, there's 7 different steps to this ladder. Have 3, have 2.
Right.
Start. I just want action.
Right.
And when I say I just think that's where we need to move forward is every person in agriculture I talk to, I feel like has great intentions and we have great things moving forward. And gosh, there's so many amazing people.
Yeah.
It's now time to breathe and create that action.
Mm-hmm.
So we know what we need to do. Now we need to do it.
Yeah. Dude, when I started trying to be really intentional about putting things on a chart, on a paper, I started having much more fun with it than I thought I would. Like this year, I broke something I haven't done before is take every farm, the acres on that farm, my APH, my guarantee APH, I'm making a chart on a spreadsheet, then my realistic yield, my APH goal, then my realistic yield goal, and then my...
it's going to be a killer year,
it's
baby.
Happening.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've liked the information that you've seen so far, go ahead and check out the full-length podcast on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. It's also on all the major podcast platforms. We're constantly dropping info and more content on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Check it out for a lot more content.